Good morning, class. Just wanted to take a few minutes just to review this past week. First of all, I saw, the quiz. I'm sure for some it was quite difficult, but for others you did extremely well. For those of you that may not have done as well in the quiz as you would have liked, at least at this point you have a better idea of the kinds of questions that they're going to ask and how you can better prepare for the next quiz. And so, you can make up a lot of ground in terms of your grade on the next three quizzes. So really work hard at that. I think you guys will end up doing really great. Also, a couple of things about the discussion board. I've graded over half of the discussion board posts. I'll finish the rest tomorrow. But did want to make a few brief comments. First of all, just continue to proofread. I have to say that this week, much better. You guys did a great job. It looks like many of you have proofread through your work. And for some, you may need to just do a little more thorough job of proofreading, but much better, but keep doing that. Also, listen, the footnote forms are extremely important. So just look in the manual, look through Turabian, and make sure you get the right footnote forms for each of the different kinds of sources that you use. Also, it is important, some are failing to use, 5 citations for your discussion board post, your original posts. And then we also need 2 for each of the replies. So make sure you do that. It's very difficult for me to give you as much credit as I'd like to if you don't follow those simple instructions. So please, to get the best possible grade, make sure you're doing the 5 citations and the 2 for each of the replies. Also, you need to make sure, I'm going to send out in an email an attachment about plagiarism. Please read that very carefully. I don't want to have to report any student for plagiarism. And so if you read through that document, you have a very clear understanding of what is plagiarism and what is not. Just make sure every time you cite, every time that you use the textbook or any other source, use an idea from it or you quote it, you have to footnote it so that you're giving credit to where that came from. So make sure you get over that this week. Oh, and one other thing real quickly, sorry. Listen, please don't make the critical mistake of not doing some research for the paper that's coming up. I know it seems like it's a long way away, but trust me, it will sneak up on us like you wouldn't believe. So make sure you're working on your paper, doing at least a little bit here every week. And that way when it's due, the week that it's due comes, you won't be really caught off guard. Now, real quick, just a few helpful hints about this week's discussion board. There are only 3 questions, and so you have to choose 2 of those 3. Now, and they're all related to some form or fashion to the synoptic problem. So make sure you read the sections very carefully. Now, the first question just really is asking you, what are the synoptic gospels? List them. And then, what does the synoptic problem refer to? I mean, define it for me. And then, just answer each part of the question. Explain the differences that are found in the Gospels, and just really kind of give an answer to each one of the questions in number 1. Number 2 is really, I think, a little more straightforward because it's asking you just simply to define and explain the various views: the Augustinian view, the literary independence view, Markan priority, Mathan priority. Just explain who they are, explain what they are, and move on and get to the next one. But listen, do all of them. Make sure you define each and explain each one of them. And then, answer really quickly, which hypothesis you believe best explains the literary relationship between the synoptic gospels. So that's pretty straightforward. And the next one is fairly straightforward as well. You're going to have to do a little hunting to be able to find, you need to define very clearly what is form criticism, what is source criticism, and what is redaction criticism. Now, just look very carefully in the reading because they'll be in a couple different spots, right? Just define them, explain how they're different, and then just mention, which is the most useful for addressing the synoptic problem. And then, answer the final part of that question as well. It's pretty straightforward. I think you guys will do a great job. Anyway, listen, again, I am always Sorry about that. I'm always available. Listen, shoot me an email if you have a question or you'd like some help with something. I want you guys to do the best you can. So really, um, just keep working hard, keep improving. You guys are on your way to a very successful term. All right. Have a great week. Blessings.